What is the difference between a broker versus a consolidation coach, like what you're calling yourself? Because I'm sure that they're two different things.
Yeah, it sure is. A broker is someone who lists your business publicly for sale, and they list it in like a network,
Okay.
and they send it out publicly.
Okay.
And think of me as like your best friend. I'm helping you through the process, and I'm connecting you with known buyers and helping
Mm,
you navigate the process. Um,
gotcha.
so I'm not most of what a broker does, I don't do.
Okay. What are you doing that a broker wouldn't do?
So what I do is literally hold your hand from the very beginning to the very end. Think of me as your best friend, and you can call me and get advice at any time.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I do. I give advice and guidance,
Mm,
help you understand the process, help you understand the agreements, understand the value of your business, help you understand, does it make sense? And I guess the whole bottom line is understand, help you
yeah.
understand so that you can make the decisions whether it makes sense for you or what direction that you want to go.
Right. So it almost sounds like a broker is more transactional,
Yes.
and it's not where with you, it's walking through it together with them to field the questions, to discuss things, to go over the options, to point out things maybe in a contract that they maybe should pay attention to or look at, or other giving them different options versus a broker seems more like, here's X, you get Y, sign on the dotted line, let's move forward. So
Yeah.
there's obviously a different value there for the
Yeah.
shop, especially for shop owners that are confused and need to be walked through. It's not just a simple transaction.
Correct. And most brokers, they deal with all sorts of businesses,
Mm,
where I specifically only represent collision repair facilities only.
okay. So typically, when you're helping one of your clients sell their shops, what is the timetable? Because I've seen some guys sell their shops. I say guys, but gals, whatever. Some people sell their shops and it seems to just drag on for months and months and months and months. And then other other shops, like I was, one of my clients was another shop, and that was, they had been kind of in talks, nothing serious, kicking it around, and then within 30 days, it was like bing, bang, boom, crazy fast. What is the tradition like on average? What's the average time for if they were working with you? What's the average time? I guess that would be a better question.
Yeah, it really wildly varies.
It does. Okay.
It does. But I'll tell you as a general rule, think of shops like, in the respect that there's some markets that are red hot, and there's
Mhm.
some markets that are cooking at 300 degrees, and then there's some that are like barbecue and you're smoking and they're low and slow.
Yeah, yeah.
And think of them as like tier one, tier two, tier
Mhm.
three. I think if you're in a tier one market, a market that's red hot, I mean, those can be done in, I mean, I had one that was done in less than 4 months. I mean, it was unbelievable. But I would say the average time from the time someone contacts me and they're ready to move forward, not
Yeah.
not that they're thinking about it, but they're actually
Right.
ready to move forward and we're starting the valuation process. I would say typically 9 months.
Okay.
I mean, it could be less, 6 to 9 months. And again, that's just an average, but the
Yes, of
ones that are in
course.
the red hot markets can happen much quicker.
Yeah. So
So,
now what makes it move faster or slower? Is that typically because the buyer
yeah.
is wanting to get it done because they want to
Yeah.
get that
A lot
money?
of times it's the buyer, and it depends on the buyer and how aggressive they are. It depends on the buyer. And, they've got, people that they report to that say, hey, we want this done. You know what I mean? And they've got to act on it. So, you know how it is. It's like anything that you and I do, you know what I mean? And anything in life, if you're getting some pressure to get something done,
Yeah.
from your higher ups, you're getting it done.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's also interesting. And I think how many shops have been out there and still are out there that don't know that help exists. I just think back to myself. I wonder at that time if there was anybody out there actually helping shops. I don't know. But now, I know you and I'm so thankful for you and what you're doing for our industry because you and I have both been in that seat before and the stress and the pressure of just having your own shop, having your own business. And then you have all these lives in your hands who, your employees, your family, who are your employees and wanting to do the right thing for them. It's a big, big decision. But to be able to know that there is help out there, that's why I think I was, not only because I love you, but because I'm so excited about the value of what you're bringing to our industry for business owners to be able to now, you've got these people, especially the MSOs that do it all the time. They're at this level. And then here we are, we're not even on the chart. We're so low because we've never even, like we don't even know where to begin. So having somebody like an ally like yourself that knows the industry, that knows what we're feeling, that can now bring you to that table with them. So now you can actually have it's a level playing field then, where before you're just going kind of off what you think you might know, but you're not quite sure. So I think the value that having you specifically come to the table, and I know you and I know that you're such a straightforward, honest person, which I love. There's no BS. It's like, hey, girl, this is what it is. And I love
That
it.
is the truth.
And we need that though. We need that. We don't need somebody that's gonna be like, whatever you want. I mean, to some extent, it's their business, whatever they want to do. But somebody that will shoot you straight, just give it to me. Just tell me the truth. I think so many of us in the industry are like that, and we appreciate that about each other. Just
Yep.
give it to me. Just freaking tell me. And then let me decide. And so having somebody with your skill set, your knowledge, been there, done that, still in the industry, still helping shops in a lot of ways, and now helping shops sell and get the most money that they can, not get taken advantage of. I just wish I could shout it from the rooftops to let these guys and gals know that there's help. You don't have to traverse this on your own. You don't have to give yourself an ulcer doing this. You don't have to be having drinks every night because you're so freaking stressed out about it,
Yeah,
because you've got an ally that's watching your back for you because you don't know what you don't know. That's why you need a Laura Gay.
that's right. And you just said something that I haven't touched on, but it's a really key element, is employees. I mean, I don't know. I think every shop owner's like this. I want to believe it is. And I know you and I have talked about this, but the employees for me, it was so hard because I mean, I spent 10 to 12 hours every day
Yeah.
of my life.
Yeah.
They gave blood, sweat, and tears. I gave blood, sweat, and
Mm,
tears. A lot of them were more like family, um, or they were like family more so than an employee.
yes.
And for me, and I know my ex-husband as well, it was really, really important that we found someone. We knew they wouldn't carry on so much our tradition, on
Of
how we
course.
did things,
Mhm.
but it was really important to us that they had a good quality place to work. And when we were making the decision, that's ultimately, what it came down to. We chose the consolidator we thought was going to be the best long term for our
Mm,
employees. They were the ones that had the best you know, employment package.
mm.
They were going to give the employees basically tenure, just like they've been. They worked for us for 10
Wow.
years. When they went to work for the consolidator, they worked for the consolidator 10 years. A lot of times they
Wow.
got more vacation. They had a lot of benefits that I wasn't able to offer
Yeah.
because I'm a small MSO. I'm not, this giant MSO with over 1,000 stores with a whole lot of reach. So a lot of that was really important to us.
Yes.
And I know it's important to a lot of sellers as well, to make sure, you know what I mean, that those T's and I's are, crossed and dotted for sure. And
So,
another thing we didn't really talk about was a lot of collision shop owners, they own their building, you know what I mean? And
mm,
they think, oh, well, I have to sell the building and the business at the same time. And I think a big element that is misunderstood by many is that you don't. I mean, it's essentially two separate transactions or three separate transactions. Probably is the most favorable, but you sell the business, and then if you want to sell the building too, that's a separate
right.
deal. But I recommend to clients that they consider leasing the building if that's something that they can do. And if they do, that's a road they want to go down. And we look at all of this globally and help them understand what this all means. Scenario A looks like this, scenario B looks like
Yes.
this, and help them understand what it's going to mean to them, whether it's a monthly number, an annual number, a bottom line number, or whatever. But the big piece of this is getting, if they decide to lease the building that they own, getting that lease crafted properly, getting them the terms that
Mhm.
they deserve, and helping them navigate that whole process, because that too is extremely overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I help them with that process as well.
Well, that's great, and I didn't even think about that, but I would think and imagine if you have that property in that building, that recurring income, yeah, you make money off the sale of your business, but now that recurring monthly income from a lease, hello, Dolly, now we're talking. That's right. Yes, Laura, I love that.
And another piece is some people are ready to retire, they're done, they're moving to Florida or whatever, they're not going to work any further. But there's
Mhm.
a lot of people that are young and still want to work, and maybe they're considering working for the consolidator. I also will help
Mm,
them understand and navigate and craft a employment agreement with their buyer, whoever that is, if that's a road that they want to go down. And it's amazing. There's a lot of young buyers out there. I mean, young sellers out
yes,
there right now,
yeah.
and that are choosing to go that route. And it's amazing to kind of watch their careers. I mean, it's there's one that sold a little over a year ago, and like to watch his career since he sold, it's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, and that's interesting too, because just because you're selling your business does not mean you need to get out of the business.
Yeah. And that's another thing people don't think about with selling their